Okay, it's Sunday again, and we have another game lined up. It's a 3,000 point game. Not satisfied with my rather ropey win last week. Decided to roll out my Orcs again, and for this time for a thorough face pounding. All those sneaky tactics running around that building, they upset my Orcs no end. So this time I've come back just to smash face instead. So we're playing a Blood and Glory. We both have Fortitude of 6 with 3 banners, General and BSB. So it's size list is quite similar to his last one. I think he's made a few tweaks. But my list is pretty much my 2,500 point list with, well, obviously 500 tacked onto it. But I'll run you through it. So we have 5 Wolf Riders with shields. We have a Boar Chariot, which I've accidentally spilt some paint on. Actually painted now, so at least that's something. So I do actually paint things eventually. You may even see this army painted one day. Right, so we've got the Boar Chariot, we've got 6 Trolls, a Rock Lobber, 39 Black Orcs with the War Boss Chain Dog, 48 Night Goblin Spearmen, with 2 big bosses with great weapons. We have 38 Savage Orc Biggins. Decided to go back to the big units this time. I tend to be more aggressive with my Orcs and Goblins. Apparently they've been very un-Orc-like with their tactics. So this is from Sai, who doesn't agree with my tactical nature with my Orcs. So I've gone for a bit more aggressive route, which I think last week's list didn't really achieve with those small units. So I've gone for lots of hordes. So we've got 38 Savage Orc Biggins, we've got the Shaman with the Lucky Shrunken Head, and Black Orc BSB, so all the cliches. We have a level 2 Night Goblin. We've got Troll, who's unfortunately out of the leadership bubble of the General, because I forgot to put him in range, so he's leadership 4 with a reroll, so that should be pretty useless. We have Doom Diver. This is where the other horde comes in. It's 30 Squigs and 15 Handlers, so that should be pretty brutal. We have another Rock Lobber and some more Goblin Wolf Riders. So that is quite a battle line. There's like over 200 green skins there, or grey skins in this case. Yeah, and I'll hand you over to Sai, see what he's got in his army.
Okay, yeah, my army is pretty similar to last time. I actually just removed the bolt throwers and the lion chariot, jiggled a few things about. So yeah, so the composition is sort of fairly similar. All the main aspects are there. And then when the website I'm ordering my stuff from actually manages to sort their website out so I can place an order, I will actually have some more high elves. But until then, we'll have to make do with some proxies. So over here, I have a unit of 5 Reavers. And here I have 15 Silverhelms with a Noble, with full command group. Just a unit of 10 Archers, a Great Eagle, a unit of 28 White Lions with the BSB and a level 4 Mage, Law of Life. Then I have 24 Phoenix Guard. There's also going to be the Lawmaster of Hoeth, once I've stopped getting annoyed at my inability to glue his sword on. A Frostheart Phoenix. Then we have another Great Eagle, another 10 Archer unit, a third 10 Archer unit, and another unit of Reavers on my right flank. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire army. I won the dice roll to see who goes first, so yeah, we'll see at the end of High Elf Turn 1. Okay, it's the end of High Elf Turn 1. Everyone moved up, moved the battle line forward, as you can see, just everyone getting in there. Then in the magic phase, I started off pretty miserably, rolling a double 1. Ollie failed to channel, as did I, so I just cast Flesh to Stone on the Silverhelms to give them toughness 5. Mainly in an attempt to at least reduce the amount of splash damage that I should suffer from any attacks from Ollie's stone throwers, and at least make it slightly more difficult for the Doom Diver to wound him. That was pretty much my thought on the situation. So that was pretty much all I could do in the magic phase. I did get it off. Then in the shooting phase, which was mediocre at best, I managed to kill one Black Orc with this unit. Do nothing to the Wolf Riders over there. Nothing to the Wolf Riders over there, even with 10 archers. However, the 10 guys in the building managed to expertly slot 2 wounds onto that troll in between the squigs and the savages. So that was rather nice. That was well. It wasn't devastating. It wasn't great. It was average. I didn't lose anything, so I'm happy. We'll see now at the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1.
Okay, so it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1. Not the best turn I've ever had. Okay, so first up, declared a lot of charges. I declared these against the eagle. The eagle fled. Obviously failed to catch it. Flew through the building. These guys charged the Reavers. The Reavers fled, caught them, and with a ridiculous, I think I rolled like 13 or 14 on the charge, caught them. So that was nice. So they're all the way over there. The troll failed his stupidity, moved forward. He probably had a couple of arrows in his head, which didn't affect his thinking power very well. Unfortunately, only had a leadership 4 with a reroll, so, and 2 arrows in his head, so that's obviously going to affect it. The savages pretty much stayed where they were because I wanted to cast with the wizard. The goblins moved up just to get ready. These guys moved around a bit. The trolls attempted to charge the silver helms but failed and ended up moving 5. The boar chariot charged the other reavers. They fled. I failed to catch it. They went through the building. Didn't fail any dangerous terrain though. Goblins moved up just to start moving around the building. And that was pretty much all for movement. Magic phase, I've got 9 dice off a channel, so I've got channel as well. I just cast Foot of Gore irresistibly, although I forgot to declare it as a big one, so I only had the standard one. And I fired at these guys. Unfortunately, rolled a miscast for the first spell of the game. It's not always good. And I managed to kill none of them, I think. Did you make the 2 up?
Yes, all of them.
Made all of them, okay. Yeah, unfortunately he's got the Baron of the World Dragon, which I completely forgot about. So, but luckily I didn't get sucked into the void. I just took a wound on him and the other guy, so it wasn't so bad. Who needs magic anyway? So that was a bit of an oversight. Then the shooting phase, misfired. So didn't do anything to his Phoenix, and that was it. So it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1. It's pretty piss poor. But I did kill 5 Reavers with that ridiculous charge from the Squigs, so they're already paying for themselves. And that was the end of my turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 2. I'll go through from left to right here. These guys reformed back, then swarmed around the building and shot up the Wolf Riders, doing 2 wounds and panicking them. Then the Silverhelms charged the Trolls in the subsequent close combat phase, killed 4, lost 3 of their own, overrun, basically broke the Trolls and overrun them, wiping them out. The Eagle moved up to try and redirect the Black Orcs should the Silverhelms get locked in combat. Thankfully they didn't. My Frostheart Phoenix moved around. Everyone else sort of shuffled sideways. The main problem being over here was my Phoenix Guard were out of charge just out of charge arc of the Squig Horde, which was a little unfortunate. That would have been nice to get into them and wipe them out, but alas, that didn't happen. So they're kind of positioned now. to try and take on eventualities. The magic phase was a bit of a bust. I rolled 9 dice, was going to open up with Throne of Vines on my level 4. I unfortunately rolled a 3, so failed to cast. So then my Lawmaster had to take over. I got a Melkoth's off on the squigs, reducing their movement by 1, and then tried a sort of souped up Spirit Leech on Ollie's Savage Orc Shaman, but he dispelled it. And that was it. Shooting didn't really do much. I think I killed a couple of squigs and a handler. And I finished off the troll, and that was it. So yeah, that was a fairly successful High Elf turn, wiping out the trolls, which was rather nice. So yeah, it's now on to Orcs and Goblins turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 2, and it's indeed a sad day. Well, until tomorrow, then they'll cheer up. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute though. So movement wise, reform the squigs, move the savages up, move the goblins up. These guys charged the eagle, he fled, and I attempted to pursue, reasoning that I would get into the phoenix, and I did. So I overrun the eagle, got into the phoenix. These guys reformed to mess with the silver helms when they get their act together. These guys rallied, just got in the face of the reavers because I didn't want the reavers getting in my face. And that was it for movement pretty much. Oh, the Wolf Riders just moved around there. Then the magic phase, I attempted to cast Here We Go, so I dispelled it. He scrolled Hand of Gork, yep, and then I got off sneaky stabbing on these guys. So I got armor piercing. So that was it, and then the shooting phase. Both my rock robbers who could fire, obviously this misfired and couldn't fire this turn. Both fired at the eagle and managed to miss him. They both hit him actually. One splashed him, hit the tower, killed 3 archers, and one hit him but failed to wound him. So. Then in close combat, it was just the Black Orcs. My Warboss charged in, obviously got the Elves Strike's last aura, -1 strength. His Phoenix attacked, killed my Warboss after doing 3 wounds to him, and I failed all my Wardos and he died. So, but then Black Orcs obviously got really angry by this, rolled like a boss, got like almost all hits, all wounds, and killed the bloody thing. So.
Well, I don't think it wasn't so much they got angry as they were so happy that one of them had just been promoted to War Boss that that was their celebratory stomping.
Yeah, they nommed the eagle, nommed the phoenix even. But yeah, I was pretty annoyed to say the least. I wasn't actually expecting him to die to something with only 4 attacks. But he did, so that was really shitty. But yeah, so 4 up Wartoes, oh god. Yeah, so, but, you know.
It's fine, I failed a lot of 4 up Wartoes as well. So
yeah, but not in your general, the most key moment of the game, after you've charged. So, yeah, so probably shouldn't have, well, he had to make way, because he was already in that. Oh, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so my Warboss is dead, so not very happy. But that's it. So that's the end of my turn 2. So heading into Orcs and Goblins, High Elves turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 3. Yeah, basically, I charged the Reavers into the remaining Wolf Riders, managed to wipe them out totally in combat before they got a chance to attack back. My Ninja Horses finishing off the last one. Let's see, I couldn't charge I charged the White Lions into the Goblins. My lucky ganking of Ollie's General meant that now the Goblins had a significantly smaller chance of sort of standing back. And then in the preceding combat phase, I worked on killing both of his heroes to lower his leadership as much as possible, and then basically did enough to send him packing, although I couldn't quite catch him. But that was good. Then I charged the Phoenix Guard into the Savages, more in an attempt to assassinate his Wizard Lord and hold them up for a turn or two. And then in a twist of fate, I actually rolled pretty well, and Ollie rolled pretty terribly. And I managed to break the unit, which was great. But again, Ollie rolled a 4, and I rolled a 3. Failed to catch him, and he bounced through his Goblin Shaman, who also fled. Then I bought my 2 archer units around, and bought the Great Eagle out from cover to redirect the Squig Horde. And that was about it in the shooting phase. I actually put everything I could into shooting that bloody over here, these 2 units, into shooting the Wolf Riders, who remained resolutely immortal. And then in a crazy twist of luck, now that Ollie painted his chariot, these 10 guys at long range on a toughness 5 chariot managed to put 4 wounds on it. And thankfully the dice gods were kind to Ollie, and it only took 1 wound. Otherwise that would have been ridiculous. That was an extremely successful high-off turn. The magic phase, I got Throne of Vines off on my wizard, and then threw 6 at a Flesh to Stone, which unfortunately I didn't get off. Ollie managed to dispel it. He rolled 2 higher than me. That was pretty much it for the turn. So it's now on to Orcs and Goblins turn 4.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Yeah, that's right, turn 3. It's not going very well. The Savage Orcs failed to rally and run another 5 inches. Thankfully, just about an inch away off from the board edge, so they just about made it. The Goblin Wizard decided to book it and go and sell the Dispel Scroll and live happily ever after. So he's gone. Probably going to sell it to Techless. The Squig Herd charging the Eagle. These guys fell down Animosity and charging the Archers. This guy just played the Dance of Death with these guys. That's pretty much it. Then in the so that was it for movement. Obviously there was no magic phase, but we rolled it up anyway just because I could use the dice to get rid of his Throne of Vines, which I did. The shooting phase, my Doom Dive blew up. This one hit the Phoenix Guards and managed to kill 3 of them, even though it was a direct hit. And I got a load of wounds, but Side made loads of 4-up wards. This one just missed, so that was it. Then in close combat, these guys beat the Eagle and reformed. These guys side whiffed his attacks, and then I killed 4 archers in return. But then he rolled Snake Eyes and held.
Which is what I needed.
Yeah. The one comment I don't really give a toss about, and that's what happened. So, but you know, at least I'm kicking their ass. Those Goblin Wolf Riders just immune to archers in close combat and firing. They've taken nothing from those archers. So like 20 archers firing at those Goblin Wolf Riders and done nothing to them. But unfortunately, that's the only thing in my army that has had nothing done to it, because everyone else has been fingered. So let's see. Like I say, they failed to rally. These guys did actually rally, but as they're only leadership 5 without a reroll now, they're not that much use. Black Orcs charged into the White Lions. Bloody combat ensued. He killed 13 Black Orcs, and in return I killed 10 of his guys. But he won the combat because he had a BSB, loads of ranks, even though I charged him. So I was testing on a 3 or less, and I did actually roll a 3, which is pretty handy because I didn't have a reroll and no general. So that was really lucky. But as he's got more guys than I have, and after that last chopping, it's probably not going to be good for my guys, as I'm going down to strength 4 next round. So it's not looking good for the Black Orcs. So really, these guys are probably going to get charged off the board. These guys are not going to do a great deal. They're down to the Squig Herd to win the game, and as he has basically all of his combat blocks still intact, it's probably not going to happen. So we're heading into High Elves turn 4, and prepared to see a lot less units on the board in his turn. So we'll see you after that.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 4. Over here, I was playing the endless dance of 1,000 inches, but unfortunately, it's come unstuck. I can't outmaneuver a guy with that can pivot on the spot. So yeah, they're looking like they're probably going to get charged next turn. Then I shot at that chariot with these guys, managed to put another wound on it. Then I charged with the Phoenix Guard against the fleeing savages, set them off the board. And what else was there? Then pretty much that was it for movement. And I charged the archers into the rear of the Goblin Wolf Riders, wiping them out in the subsequent close combat because I broke them and then caught them. So in the magic phase, I rolled a 6 and a 1. Unfortunately, I was a bit silly with the way I handled it, and I didn't get anything off other than regrowth, which then proved to be my detriment as my wizard got ganked in the close combat phase by the orcs, and then in return I chopped down another 10 black orcs and sent them fleeing. But because they rolled fairly high for their flee distance, I decided to restrain and hold, as the ensuing melee here might become rather dangerous. So yeah, that was pretty much it for my for my turn 4. So it's now on to Orcs and Goblins turn 4.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Although I am completely leaderless, I don't even have a champion to call a general. I'm attempting to wrestle it back, although it's not looking so good, but it wasn't a bad turn though. So what we did, I declared a charge with the Squigs into the Phoenix Guard, and so I decided didn't want to chance it against such a big old nasty horde like that, and elected to flee. Unfortunately, only rolled a 4. There was a small chance if he rolled a 9 over a 9, then he would have run off the board. But unfortunately, I rolled just enough to catch him, so I did clip him and I overrun him. So they died. These guys moved up to block these guys. The Black Orcs did rally and reformed, and the chariot charged into the flank of the Silver Helms. This was obviously no magic phase. This guy misfired. He was attempting to fire at the White Lions, and then this guy fired at the White Lions and killed 5 of them. Made a panic test, but they passed it. And then in close combat, so it was just this one, did 2 impact hits, managed to kill 1 Silver Helm. And then, although I hit, I failed to wound or he made his armour saves. So I won the combat, only by like 1 or 2. But it was steadfast and he managed to pass it. So it was a nice try, but it's obviously not going to do anything now. But it's holding him up. So that's it. It's the end of my turn 4.
Okay, it was the end of High Elves turn 5 in another mad old situation. Basically, I finally managed to kill the chariot. The hero thankfully just jibbed it, so I only thankfully didn't lose any more guys. Then I charged my depleted unit of White Lions into the Gobos, chopped up a load of them, sent them packing. Although Ollie, with his exceptionally good rolls to flee, meant that I was hanging out in the open. But I'm not so worried because of the noble, the Lothern BSB should be able to get his way around that, thankfully. Then basically with shooting, I moved this guy out, my last archer, and then just shot the Black Orcs with both units and managed to kill another 3. So leave him with 10. So yeah, I'm getting there. So that's basically the end of High Elves turn 5. We'll see you at the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 5 in a pretty quick turn. Managed to rally the Goblins, which I was really happy about. I was super excited. I moved these guys, just reformed, moved up a little bit. These guys obviously just reformed after rallying. These guys moved up a bit. And that was it. That was just all I had. Shooting phase, obviously no magic phase, so fired both with rock lobbers. Scattered off these, almost both rocks hitting the Black Orcs, luckily failed to wound them though. Which doesn't bode well for them really, does it? I can't even wound my own guys, let it is. Yeah, and that was the end of my turn. So moving into High Elves turn 6.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 6. Basically, my Silver Helms finally freed from their tangle with the chariot, charged at the rock lobber, wiped it out. Then basically I just moved the cavalry up to shoot at the orcs, which I duly did with my 2 units and them, killed 3. The guys at long range killing 3, the guys at short range killing bugger all. Then I got their bloody white lions the hell out of there, because that is a dangerous situation to be in. Yeah, with that, I called it the end of my go. So it's now on to the last game turn, and it's Orcs and Goblins turn 6.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 6, and rather quickly I attempted to charge these squigs into his white lines. Agreed that they could probably wheel round there, just about fit through there and do it, if they rolled exceptionally high, which I didn't, so they failed it. These guys attempted to charge the treacherous goblin, who left over from one of his archer units, and failed it. And then the rock lobber decided it was down to him to kill that traitor. At least we're going to redeem some honour. As you can see, he's still there, and somehow the rock lobber's not. So yeah, so they fired a rock at it, but obviously his treachery run deep, and his great cousin Ichabod actually sabotaged the rock lobber at the start of the battle. So yeah, so I just handed Sai another 85 points in the last time of the game, where he couldn't actually have any chance of gaining some points. So that was nice. So we totaled it up. Sai got 2,588, and I got
You got 1,835.
1,835. So a massive win to Sai, and a well fought game. Both screwed by luck, both equally lucky at the wrong time. The amount of luck we had with chaff battles was ridiculous. All these big combat blocks pushed around. Yeah. But yeah, so just like a quick look at the game. Obviously I can't really glean much from this game because I lost so bad. I like the Squig Herd, although they didn't actually get into any close combats. They killed some Reavers and then killed his Phoenix Guard with his Lawmaster in, which was excellent. But only because they made a long charge. But that in itself is big for me, because I've never made a long charge. these guys made 2.
That's fair enough. Yeah, give you that.
So we'll be seeing them again. I think in terms of the battle, I think my overall plan was going really well. By the end of turn 2, I was in a position where I was totally convinced I was going to crush him by turn 3, and I thought it was over. I had the Black Orcs there, like in his Phoenix. Had the Night Goblins ready to go into his Hammer unit and just hold them up for a couple of turns. Savages were ready to go in as well, and the Squigs were ready to head in the flank as well. It was over. And then his Phoenix just went, oh, I feel a gate your war boss. And that was it. And my war boss died, and then it just went all tits up. Then my Savages decided they weren't very good in combat after all, and lost the Phoenix Guard, which I was, like, I know he's got rerolls to hit, but really he's only strength 4. My guys were pumping out strength 5 attacks, and I just did nothing to them. So yeah, it was horrendous. And then it just fell apart after that. My trolls didn't last very long, but those Silver Helms are pretty nasty on the charge. I was really worried they had the flaming banner, but they didn't, and as it turns out, they still destroyed me. So yeah, so it was pretty bad. I didn't learn overly much other than just fear size units. High elves are pretty damn good. I'm not saying overpowered or anything. I think they're actually a really balanced list, a balanced army considering they're written by Matt Ward. But yeah, I think it's a really good book, and I'm certainly afraid of them now. I think for me, like anything Sire really did wrong was take the wrong magic law. I think he should have really went for high magic.
Yeah,
as we were talking about earlier.
Because really, my magic didn't play much.
It didn't do anything, did it? No. Yeah, it barely had any effect on the game at all.
Which just goes to show. I mean, if I'd managed to, if I'd gone with high magic and got something.
Yeah, if you got one fiery convocation off, your wizard would have played for himself, and then it'd be one less thing to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's got a really good list there, and he handed me my arse on this game. We had an equal share of bad luck, so can't really put it down to that. But yeah, so really for me, the man of the match are the Squigs, just because they look good and they did more than the rest of the army put together. And the real duffers of the match, probably the Savages. I'm a war boss actually. My war boss is definitely on my shit list. So I think I'm probably gonna cry. I'll cry for a bit, and then I'll grow a new head, and he'll come back. So. Head transplants are possible with Orcs and Goblins, thankfully, and he's going to need one because it got stoved in by a frosty pigeon from hell.
So Chain Dog Mark 8 will be back.
Yeah, Chain Dog Mark 8.
There's still one of them lying in the
yeah,
Black
yeah. There's he's in there somewhere. Yeah, so it was still a fun game though. I love 3,000 points with Orcs and Goblins. I love the amount of units I have. And I love the potential that just one of these units can smash face, although not against a high elf unit. I've learned that Black Orcs just don't. Well, I mean, last game I had 24 Black Orcs, and for some reason I was chasing after that same unit. And I have no idea what I was doing, because if they'd actually turned around and said, "All right then," I would have been crushed. And this time I said 40 in, and they still got crushed. So yeah, I'm terrified of that white line unit. I'd probably be happier sending the Savages or something in, but not the Black Orcs. But then at the time I thought I was in the flank, so even with his Loth and Sea Helm, these goblins would have been in the front, so it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, the Loth and Sea Helm is definitely really good in that unit. Yeah, so there's not really much to say about my units. I think, well, you saw what happened. You can tell, what happened. With the units and that, but yeah, so I certainly like the Squig Herd. I'm certainly going to be using that again. It's a weighty old unit though. It's probably going to reinforce this board if I actually push it to the edge. So it's going to have to deploy in the middle just for the purposes of preserving our floor. So yeah, so I'm going to hand you over to Si now because I haven't really got a lot to say, and it's his victory, so it's time for him to gloat a bit and tell you what he thinks. Which is well earned.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Got nail biting towards the end there, losing my Phoenix guards very, very easily. In retrospect, I should have taken the charge from them and tried to just eke it out. With 4-up ward save, I mean, in theory, I should have been able to defend myself reasonably well. And being able to try and nerf the weapon skill of those guys, I would have at least tried to, with the Law Master, I would have tried to save the number of hits. But yeah, I think Ollie's right in terms of the magic law that I used. I took Law of Life because I wanted to try it, and it played no real benefit in the game other than getting. I don't think I got any of the spells off in a time when I needed them, other than getting one on the first turn on the what was it? I can't even remember now. The +2 toughness buff, flesh to stone, just nothing. So yeah, I think high magic is definitely the way to go, or shadow, where shadow would have benefited me quite nicely, because then even shadow turns these archers into something that Black Orcs would fear, because 4's to hit, 2's to wound on a reroll. Pretty damn good. So yeah, I mean, I think I think in retrospect, I will take High Magic next time. I think that's going to start being my default lore, just because of what it can offer. Also, the ability to debuff Ollie's units. Thankfully, I didn't get I wasn't a victim of things like itchy nuisance and sneaky stabbings and stuff like that, which really would have buggered me up. So I think what I'll do is probably take my level 4. The Lore Master I like, although I'm starting to think that there's almost sort of too much for the Lore Master to do. He's almost he's either too. I think in 3,000 points he's great, but I'm thinking if we maybe get a 2,500 point game in at some point, then I might just drop him down to just simply being a level 2 wizard. Maybe it's something like Shadow, or just to have some support spells, because certainly Melkoth's is an awesome spell to have, and then the possibility of getting Occam's Mind Razor as well would just be great, because a handy miscast towards the end of the game could swing things here and there. So that's something to think about for smaller games. But I'm definitely loving the Lore Master with the Book of Hoeth.
I think it's the right person to give it to.
Yeah. Silver Helms were pretty good. I think I screwed myself over a bit with using them. And in retrospect, I think I should probably give them the Flaming Banner. It was the Phoenix Guard that had the Flaming Banner this game.
Right.
And I think I should probably give it to the Silver Helms, because I don't think the Phoenix Guards.
I think because the Silver Helms, their power comes from the punch of their charge. If they don't break it on that turn, they're in a lot of problems in this low strength stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas the Phoenix Guard are there as like an anvil. It doesn't matter if they don't spend ages fighting something.
Yeah, I think I need to be. I think I need to be taking. I definitely think I need to be taking some the Flaming Banner on them. I really like 15 with a Noble, because he gives like a nice strength 5 punch all the way through. I think that's pretty nice. It's just a damn shame I can't do what Empire can have and take them with great weapons. Otherwise, that would have been wicked.
There's a reason why you can't do that.
I can only dream. The White Lions were amazing. They absolutely hacked through goblins when they needed to, although resolutely buggers wouldn't flee off the table. They reduced the Black Orc horde down to like a quarter of its size, which was amazing.
23 Black Orcs for those.
It was just incredible stuff. I was really pleased with how that went. It was. I think the Phoenix Guard did very, very well. I got lucky against the Savages and managed to carve him up, which was great. I was hoping that if worse, they'd lose their frenzy, which would make them more susceptible to other types of attack. But no, they actually did flee, which was a boon for me.
These guys rallied twice to leadership 6, but Savages can't rally on leadership 9.
Yeah, that was terrible. And obviously I got lucky with the Frost Art Phoenix as well, which kind of does go to show that if I'd got it in there with one of the other units, I think it would have been quite nice. But really, I think for high elves against like orcs, where they're relatively low initiative, the Frost Art Phoenix is.
It's the monster on strength. Right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Something I did forget.
You're getting,
the Always Strikes Last thing is really mainly only going to be useful against higher initiative armies like Dark Elves and Chaos.
That's amazing against Dark Elves.
Yeah.
Because there are very few ways to deal with it.
Yeah, man. So that was. I think everything performed pretty well. I can't fault the Phoenix because he
the Phoenix, really. I think.
Yeah, well, I think basically the Phoenix killing Ollie's general was the thing that because I must admit I was sharing Ollie's idea, thinking that in a pretty bad situation. And then all of a sudden, just that crazy round that turned it about, and that was it. It was it was great. So yeah, I think man of the match, the Phoenix, followed closely by. I think the Phoenix Guard, even though they jumped out and failed to flee,
they did kill all the Savage.
They wiped out the Savage Orcs pretty amazingly. To be fair, I think everything really did very well. I think the Silverhelms were probably slightly underperforming, as they only managed to. Well, no, they killed the trolls. So.
And the chariot.
Yeah. All right. So probably whiffer of the match was that chaff over there that died. Which in an army like that, in an army like this, was pretty good because I think everything performed fairly well this time around. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, well, I think next week, I'm not sure who I'll be playing against. It'll be Orcs again, or
might be something else.
So yeah, I'll look forward to that, and so we will see you next week for another awesome game.